Hi, my name is Amber, and this is my January wrap-up. So I read about a total of 6 books this month, which I was pretty impressed with myself on how many books I ended up getting done in the very beginning of the year. When it came to the first book that I wanted to read this year, I wanted it to be something that was going to be super quick, that I knew I was going to enjoy, that I could just get done really fast. I ended up picking up the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them screenplay. This book is gorgeous. I loved the movie, and that was the main reason why I was just dying to get my hands on this. It is completely in dialogue, and it is literally a screenplay, so it's a very, very fast read. I enjoyed this so much. It's absolutely adorable, and it was just a great way to kind of see the movie again in a different way. I'd seen the movie twice, so I knew everything that was going to be happening, and it was just a really fun kind of way to rewatch the movie. Even though you've watched the movie, I think it's really interesting to read it because there's a lot of things that I didn't notice, that I didn't catch the first couple of times watching it. I love this movie so much, and I love this book as much as I love the movie. Easily gave this 5 out of 5 stars. The next book that I ended up reading this month was Frostblood by Ellie Blake. I'm holding up both because I have the ARC and a finished copy. It's a problem. I ended up getting the ARC through Books for Trade, and that's how I read it. I read it through the ARC, but I ended up also getting a finished copy this month thanks to Uppercase. If you want to watch my Uppercase unboxing, I do have a video for that, and I will have that link down below. I flew through this book so quickly. This is a story about a girl named Ruby who has fireblood ability. She's able to control and manipulate fire, and she lives in a world where frostbloods who can control frost and ice, they basically rule. They take over higher positions in this world, and they are more welcomed in this world, and firebloods are looked down upon, and there's basically a war going on between the firebloods and the frostbloods. So she spent her entire life hiding from frostbloods and hiding her abilities, and she's hidden away with her mother her entire life. She's offered the chance of freedom in exchange for helping them take over the kingdom and basically overthrow the king. This book is so fast-paced and so amazing. I loved the writing. I loved the story. The characters are great. There is so much action and so much romance, and there's still that war plot that's going on that you're trying to figure out everything that's going on, and you don't see things coming in this, and I loved that so much. But I flew through this so quickly and loved it. It is definitely probably my favorite book that I read this month. Definitely go pick this up. Really, really good read. Definitely recommend this. I gave Frostblood 5 out of 5 stars. The next book that I ended up picking up was Of Fire and Stars by Audrey Coulthurst. I'd had my eye on this book forever. I mentioned that in my haul for December. I was so excited to read this. I did enjoy this. I thought the characters were really interesting. We have our main character, Denna, I think is how you're supposed to say her name. She is betrothed to a prince in another kingdom, and when she goes to meet him, she ends up falling in love with his sister instead. I loved watching their relationship grow. I loved seeing what the plot of the main kingdom was going to be like, all the threats that were happening to the kingdom, what it was going to be like for her to still be betrothed to this prince while she's in love with someone else, and I loved every bit of that. Honestly, the only issue I had with this book is that it was just really, really slow for me in the beginning. It definitely picks up towards the end, but just throughout the beginning, everything just moves so slowly, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I think after reading Frostblood and just zooming through Fantastic Beasts, that anything that was just slightly slower kind of bothered me a little bit. It definitely didn't take anything away from the book for me. It was kind of harder to fully get into it. I was still enjoying the story, but it was just taking me a while to really read it and enjoy it as much as I should have. That being said though, still loved this. There's supposed to be more, and I'm definitely going to pick it up and see what happens next. I am really excited to see where this is going to go. I still really enjoyed this. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. The next book that I ended up picking up was Ever the Hunted by Erin Summerall. This is an absolutely gorgeous book, and to be honest, while the synopsis had me, the cover was the main reason why I bought this book. This is a story about a girl named Britta whose father is a bounty hunter, and one day her father is murdered and she gets kidnapped, and half her freedom she has to find her father's killer. And everything is pointing to her father's killer being her first love and her friend from childhood, Cohen. When I first started this, I was a little worried that I wasn't going to enjoy it as much as I was hoping, but I ended up reading over 300 pages of this book in one day, which doesn't happen very often for me. I loved this. It's fast-paced and fun. The world is really interesting. There is magic and hunting, and it's so much fun and a really great read. I easily gave this 5 out of 5 stars. Next, I ended up picking up Rosebud by A.G. Howard. This is a Phantom of the Opera retelling. We have this girl named Ruin whose father is constantly playing the violin and playing music throughout her life. One day he decides to play opera, and it awakens something in her to where she has to sing the song perfectly, and she knows all the words and all the notes, and that is just something that she has to struggle with anytime she hears any opera music. After her father dies, she is sent to a school in Paris to basically learn to control that. I was really ready for this book. I was really excited for it. I love the cover. I love the concept. I had never read a Phantom of the Opera retelling before, and it just sounded so unique and interesting to me. This is another one though that ended up just being kind of slow for me. There were just a lot of slow parts, and it took me a longer time to read this than I was hoping. The writing in this is gorgeous and interesting, and you're seeing this creepy twisted tale of the Phantom of the Opera in a new way. And I really enjoyed Thorn and Ruin's relationship. I just thought they were adorable and interesting. I loved the characters in the world, and the writing honestly makes you hear the music. I thoroughly enjoyed this, but it definitely had the slow moments that were the reason why I ended up giving it 4 stars. The last book that I ended up picking up this month was The Edge of Everything by Jeff Giles. I think it's Giles, but the Buffy fan of me wants to say Giles. I ended up receiving an e-arc of this through NetGalley, and I had just been waiting to kind of read it closer to when it came out. This is a story about a girl named Zoe and her brother Jonah are being attacked by this man, and a character by the name of X comes and saves them, and he is part of this world called the Lowlands where they send bounty hunters to kill people and collect their souls. It's a very interesting concept, this lowland world, that was one of my most interesting points in this. I just loved learning about why it existed and what it was like. Thoroughly enjoyed the character of X. He is adorable and fantastic, and I could just read about him forever. But just there were 2 things that kind of bothered me a little bit. By the end of this, I had tons of questions, and this is the start of a series. There's going to be more books, and I know they're going to answer some questions, but there were just certain ones that I think could have easily been brought up at least more in this book, in the first one, or could have been answered in the first one. There were just things that, like, here's something this character can do, but we're never gonna bring it up again and never tell you why you can do it. The only other issue that I had, and this, I don't know, maybe I'm just really old, but Zoe's conversations with her mother and with her friends throughout the beginning. Now towards the end, I didn't notice it as much. It kind of just disappeared, and I think that's why I enjoyed the ending a little bit more than I did the beginning. But there's this, I hate describing it like this, but it's how I've used for reviewing it everywhere else. She has teen talk, and it is just, I can see them trying to make her come off as a teen just because of the way that they're wording certain things, and there's certain slang and things like that. And maybe I'm just really old at the age of 23, and this just, I don't know, it bothered me. It just seemed like it was trying too hard. Overall though, I love the concept of it. I'm very interested to see where it's gonna go from the end of this and just see where it's gonna continue. I'm definitely going to try and read the next one whenever it comes out. It was definitely fast paced. I had no problem just wanting to continue to read it and learn what happened next, but I ended up giving it 3 out of 5 stars. So those are all the books that I read in the month of January. Let me know what you read this month. Let me know your favorite read this month. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time.